Tonight on Citrus TV News, the highly anticipated block party announcement is here. We'll have who you can expect to see.
Plus, Chuck's final days.
I'm not looking forward to what Syracuse is going to be like after Chuck is gone.
How students feel about the short notice closing.
Snow and rain making a wintry mix in the season of spring, but summer weather might be right around the corner. I'll let you know what to expect for this weekend and early next week in my full forecast. Your campus news leader Citrus TV starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
It's what students have been waiting for. The block party lineup was announced today. Good evening, I'm Johnny Oliver.
And I'm Jamie Weiss. University Union made the announcement at noon today.
Hip-hop artist Travis Scott will be headlining this year's block party. Electronic musician Zoo and music duo Aluna George are also in the lineup.
Block party will be held Friday, April 28th in the Carrier Dome following Mayfest. Doors will open at 6:30. Tickets will go on sale Monday, April 10th at noon for students and can be purchased online. According to the mayor's office, 75% of housing in Syracuse was built before 1960.
But lead paint was not banned in houses until 1978. The city used to have a program to deal with lead, but the program went under back in 2015. Rob Romano tells us why we lost it and who is making up for it.
That's right, guys. The money for Syracuse's currently defunct lead testing program is funded by federal grants, but the city of Syracuse has not been able to secure one in years. I spoke with the person responsible for these documents. He tells us why he and the city have not been successful at getting them approved.
It's your certification as a certified renovator.
For ex-gang member Ricky Kirby, becoming a certified lead inspector is a new chance to provide for his kids and get them out of housing with lead inside it.
Well, I let the kids play all over the walls, and, babies, they put their mouth on it, and, that's a hazard.
Kirby and many others learned how to test a home for lead hazards such as lead paint inside LeadSafe CNY last week. The city of Syracuse used to have a program funded by federal grant money that sent inspectors into homes to test for lead. The city lost the program in 2015 after failing to secure a grant. A recent study by Quest Diagnostics says the city of Syracuse has the worst lead problem in the entire country. I asked city official Paul Driscoll why this was not enough for us to get the money.
Ranking, or the determination whether you get money, is not solely dependent on the severity of the problem. It also talks about the city's ability to administer a program.
The county has been making up for the shortfall for a few years. The county exec's office tells Citrus TV News it spent more than $1 million to deal with lead in the city of Syracuse since 2014. This is compared to almost $41,000 per year before Syracuse lost its program. Driscoll applied for another grant 2 weeks ago. Getting the money would mean a second chance to remove the city's lead, similar to how some job training can give someone a second chance at providing for their family.
As far as lead now, I know, keep my kids away from the walls.
Rob Romano, Citrus TV News.
County legislator Danny Liedtke tells Citrus TV the reason Syracuse lost the federal grant money was because of errors in the applications filed by Driscoll. Driscoll says this is not true. He told me the cost of treating a house in Syracuse for lead tends to be higher than those in other states. Guys?
Thanks, Rob. County legislator Liedtke says he hopes the city of Syracuse will be eventually able to get all of the money back. A major announcement last night has left many students disappointed. Chuck's Bar announced on their Facebook page they'll be closing on April 20th. Citrus TV reporter Matt Reil joins us now live in the studio. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about this situation?
Yeah, well, after months of speculation, students finally have the answer to what's going to happen to their beloved bar. Now, late last night, Chuck's did post a message on their Facebook page announcing that they will be leaving their current location on April 20th. And for those who are upset about the closing, there is some good news, though. Chuck's owner, Steve Theobald, said that the bar will likely be open for the 2018 academic year. He hopes to announce its new location later this spring, but despite the fact that Chuck's will be just moving to a different location, to some SU students, it won't ever be the same.
I think it has a lot of historical significance. A lot of our alumni have connections to it, have painted their name in there and everything. I think it's just a place of spirit on campus, and I am bummed that I'll never be able to go to this original location at least.
Honestly, first time I went there was like one of the best nights I had for like bar experiences. So I really I'm not looking forward to what Syracuse is going to be like after Chuck is gone. So
I feel really sad because I've had some wonderful memories over there, especially last year during the March Madness.
Now the bar's current location is set to be torn down, guys, so that developers can build an 8-story mixed-use complex. The plan was for Chuck's to be a part of that complex, but after the recent feuds between Chuck's owner and the developers, Theobald says that is actually up in the air now.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. And we will have a full report on April 20th about Chuck's closure.
The ayes are 54. The nays are 45. The nomination of Neil M. Gorsuch of Colorado to be an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States is confirmed.
The Senate confirmed Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court this morning. The vote was 54-45 in his favor. Vice President Pence was at the vote, but did not cast his ballot since there was a large enough winning margin. Gorsuch will receive his position with enough time to hear the final cases of the term.
Democrats denounced the Republicans' use of the so-called nuclear option. Democrats say that it was a power grab that is corroding politics in Congress, the courts, and the United States. Gorsuch will be sworn in at a private ceremony on Monday as the 101st Supreme Court Justice. DPS has received multiple calls about a male subject approaching women on campus and asking weird questions. According to the DPS report, the person says that he is conducting a survey and it requires that he ask questions in different places. He's about 5'8", thin, and has dark hair and dark eyes. DPS says if you are approached by someone like this, please call them immediately.
The Whitman School's Finance Master's Program has been designated as a STEM program. The new designation will start May 15th. And this is the second graduate program to become a STEM program. Whitman's Associate Dean Don Harder says that business schools play a critical role in preparing students for success in STEM fields. And Monster Jam is coming to the Carrier Dome tomorrow. If you're still looking to go, you're in luck. Tickets are online and still available. The doors open at 2 p.m. for VIP time with the monster truck drivers, and the actual show starts at 7. A reminder for those living near Sadler, there will be a lot of noise and traffic tomorrow afternoon and evening. All this rain has been creating some flood concerns for central New York, creating a flood warning in the area.
Well, fortunately, Citrus TV's David Edelstein is here. David, is the rain going to lighten up anytime soon?
Jamie and Johnny, it is raining outside. It's kind of interesting because it's spring, but we're having a wintry mix. If we take a look right now outside, 35 degrees with that wintry mist. It feels like it's 20 degrees outside, so a drop from the temperatures we've had recently. Looking at the temperatures in the area, of course on the west, Rochester, Penn Yan, and Elmira are a little bit higher than those on the east. Syracuse 35, Rome at 36, and 38 on this side. But looking ahead, we have this chart here, and I'm going to explain more about what this means for the next coming days. We'll take a look at all of these different colors later in the broadcast.
Next on Citrus TV News, we have new details the day after the U.S. launches missiles at Syria.
Plus, a terrorist attack in Stockholm this morning. We'll tell you what happened when Citrus TV returns.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Johnny Oliver, Jamie Weiss, and David Edelstein with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
A day after the United States missile strike on Syria, Syria's UN ambassador says U.S.'s action against Syria was a, quote, flagrant act of aggression that will encourage terrorist groups to use chemical weapons in the future.
An emergency meeting of the UN Security Council was held today. The Syrian government stressed that they do not possess chemical weapons and they are not responsible for Tuesday's chemical attack. U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley also spoke at the emergency meeting today.
The United States took a very measured step last night. We are prepared to do more, but we hope that will not be necessary. It is time for all civilized nations to stop the horrors that are taking place in Syria and demand a political solution.
President Trump and Chinese president had dinner with their wives last night in Trump's South Florida estate. Trump and Xi Jinping met today to discuss North Korea's nuclear ambitions and the U.S.-China trade imbalance.
Their meeting has been overshadowed by the missile strikes on Syria, which they also talked about. The White House is downplaying the meeting by saying that it is an introductory meeting for Trump and Xi.
A truck crashed into a department store this morning in Stockholm, Sweden. The truck in question was allegedly hijacked from a local brewing company earlier this morning. Shots were also reported in the area.
Swedish police say at least 4 people were killed and several were injured. The country's prime minister says it was a terrorist attack. Swedish police have shut down the area and advised people to stay in their homes until further notice.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Back here in Citrus TV's weather studio, we take a look at this graph. Right now outside we have a wintry mix going on, a lot of snow and some mist at the same time. But what we see here, that's exactly what the blue represents. The green to the east is more of that rain that had moved out early last night. But over here, the low pressure system is going to move up and then out of the way, leaving us with just some clouds, but more of clear skies, no precipitation. But going ahead, we take a look at our radar to see just that. It goes out of the way, leaving Syracuse and the surrounding central New York area without any kind of precipitation, no rain, no snow in the general location. But we do have some flood warnings for tonight, as precipitation sticks around and rain is going everywhere here in central New York and some other areas that are light blue on the map going out to Boston and some over here to the west. We have flood warnings for tonight. Those are when lakes might be overflowing, so we have to be careful while on the roads and while walking around. A lot of puddles, and that can bring some danger. But looking ahead to tomorrow, a high of 45 degrees, there's a chance of some snow, 30%, but that is very small compared to the possibilities. Just might come in the afternoon. Low of 31, but with the weather changing, it is getting warmer out. That will lead to some higher winds. Tomorrow, when you wake up, 31 degrees. It's still going to feel kind of cold, though. But looking ahead, 33 degrees when you wake up tomorrow. For the weekend, noon 38, 6 p.m. 43. It's just progressively getting warmer into the next days. The high is going to be later in the day around 5 p.m. because it's just continually going up the scale. But as we take a look here, the averages for April for this coming week, the averages typically are around 50 degrees. Over here we can see as the days go on, the month does get a little bit warmer this week. But in April now, 2017, we're hitting up into the 70s in the coming week. We'll take a look at that in our 5-day forecast. But typically what this means, to put it more to perspective, is just in the 50s. This is equivalent to over here. So this is the general range. We're definitely higher than that for the coming days. And so let's just take a look at that. You can see Some snow tomorrow, possibly, but it's going to be more pleasant Sunday and Monday. Some rain on Tuesday if you're going to the women's lacrosse game, which is actually outside at the SU soccer stadium. And then we get back into some clouds. That's the prediction for now. We're going to have some pleasant days for this coming weekend.
Well, David, I looked at that 5-day forecast, and the thing that I was really excited about was seeing that 70-degree weather. But are those warmer temperatures going to last?
So we see them on the 5-day forecast. We are going to get into the summer weather, going from winter straight past spring into summer. Unfortunately, mid next week it is going to drop off a little bit, but we're not going back to the 20s. We're staying in that 50-degree range, the typical for this April month.
Could be worse. Well, David, you mentioned the flood warnings. What precautions can we take?
Yeah, we want to make sure that you're being careful, especially while driving. That's definitely always the danger. When you have a lot of water on the streets, cars can slide around, and you got to make sure that the brakes are clean and dry so that you can stop. But besides that, walking around, just bring your boots with you so you're not stepping in anything, and maybe just stay in for tonight, because by midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, that danger is going to go away.
Well, thank you so much, David. We definitely will. Up next, why the employment rate is making news it hasn't made in 10 years.
And later, one college acceptance is usually exciting, but these quadruplets had an even more exciting announcement. We'll be right back.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority. Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
The unemployment rate is at the lowest it's been in 10 years. The rate dropped to 4.5% in March, while wages were 2.7% higher compared to a year ago. But America added only 98,000 jobs in March, which is drastically lower than last month. But the Labor Department says nearly 500,000 Americans have found jobs. And a major recall is in effect on asthma inhalers. British pharmaceutical company GlaxoSmithKline is voluntarily recalling more than 590,000 albuterol inhalers. While inhalers are functioning properly, they release a fixed dose of medication to treat conditions like asthma. The company says the recalled devices could potentially deliver incorrect dosages. The company recall is not on the patient level, but patients are encouraged to seek immediate medical attention if their inhaler is not relieving their asthma symptoms.
KFC said it plans to stop serving chicken raised with antibiotics by 2018. The fried chicken chain said the change will be implemented at its more than 4,000 U.S. restaurants. Meat producers in the U.S. give animals antibiotics to make them grow faster and prevent illnesses, but this practice has increasingly become a public health issue. Officials say the practice can lead to germs becoming drug resistant and can decrease the effectiveness of antibiotics in treating human illnesses.
Coming up next, we get an update from Dino Babers and company as SU football spring practice rolls on. Plus, the women's lags team prepares for another ACC battle, and can Charlie Hoffman keep up his historic lead at the Masters? Stay tuned to Citrus TV. Check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay.
God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
The Orange wide receivers look to make a huge impact after the departure of one of the best in school history. Good evening, I'm Kevin Ryans with sports. With Amba Editawa leaving due to graduation, the question coming into spring practice is who will fill in the void left by Editawa's departure. Wideout Irv Phillips looks to be the man who helps out quarterback Eric Dungy and the offense. Last season, the wide receiver grabbed 90 receptions for 822 yards and 6 touchdowns. For any chance at an increase in production, Phillips says it's all about fine-tuning the mistakes from last season.
For me, I went through every game from last year, watching every game and watching all my mistakes and things I could have did better as far as a decision-making standpoint. So just watching all the film from last year and just trying to recognize everything and just try to correct my mistakes was the most important thing for me.
We move to lacrosse, where the Syracuse women are gearing up to battle Virginia Tech on Sunday. The Orange is back at the Carrier Dome after playing 3 straight road games. In that stretch, the number 11 Orange went 2-1 against its opponents. Virginia Tech is ranked 20th in the latest poll and has split its last 4 contests. Fans are encouraged to arrive at SU Soccer Stadium early, as it is senior day for the upperclassmen. On the ice, the Crunch look for their first win in 4 games when it takes on Binghamton on the road. Syracuse's lead in the division has all but evaporated as it now trails Toronto by 4 points in the AHL North standings. It should be an easier time for the Crunch as the Senators are in last place and have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Round 2 of the Masters is underway and the leaderboard is tightening up. Charlie Hoffman, who came in today ahead by 4 strokes, is now tied for the lead at 4 under. Hoffman shot a second round 3 over to give away the lead. With Hoffman is American Ricky Fowler, Sergio Garcia, and Belgian Thomas Peters. Meanwhile, on the diamond, the Yankees and Mets resume play tonight as both squads play division rivals. After dropping 2 of 3 to the Rays this week, the Yanks are in Baltimore tonight to begin a 3-game series with the Orioles. New York sends out youngster Luis Severino to take on righty Ubaldo Jimenez, and for the Mets, Zach Wheeler makes his return to the mound for the first time in 2 years as New York takes on Miami at Citi Field. Finally, on the hardwood, after falling to the Wizards in the last minute last night, the Knicks are on the road to play the Grizzlies. It's unknown whether or not Kristaps Porzingis will play tonight. The young star was a late scratch last night as he is still dealing with a sore back. And I wanted to mention, guys, that today is the 14th anniversary of Syracuse winning the national championship in 2003 with Carmelo Anthony and company. So congratulations on another anniversary for the Cubes.
Yeah, it would have been a heck of a thing if Syracuse had been able to get it done while we were here.
Yeah, that's certainly true. And you know what? Jim Boeheim and company are geared up and ready to go for next season and everything.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. And coming up, we will have one last look at your weather.
Stay tuned.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
We're back with Citrus TV's David Edelstein. Now, David, my mom's here this weekend. I want to show her around Syracuse. Is the rain really going to be here all day tomorrow?
It's not actually going to be rain, and it's not going to be all day either, so some good news there. We have a 30% chance of some snow, and just more of this wintry mix that we had today. Could be some mist and flurries mainly, if anything.
All right.
Well, hopefully the flurries will be gone after this last round, but when do you see warm weather getting to Syracuse, and when do you see it staying?
Yeah, Johnny, April is typically between 44 as a low and 64 as a high degrees Fahrenheit. Right now, we're going to be seeing that 76 degrees, 75 degrees this coming weekend. That's really warm going into those summer temperatures. We should expect those more towards May and the end of May as things start blooming, the trees and the flowers, and we get really more towards the true summer season.
Well, speaking of May, I know this is kind of the topic we don't want to talk about, but graduation's in May. Do you know what the temperature is going to look like then?
I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I can tell you that with consulting with my farmer's almanac that I have, we will see warmer temperatures than we have now. No snow, no 20 degrees. I don't know if we'll be breaking records with warmth, but that's typically around 70, so that should be good.
Well, Wouldn't it be appropriate if on graduation we had a little snow? Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Coming up tonight on the Orange Television Network, Q's Countdown previews the Orange lacrosse game.
And after that at 7 p.m. is Syracuse Unpeeled.
And at 7:30, Q's Countdown again. All this on Channel 14.1.
As students across the country work on college apps, this family of 4 had to conquer all 4 in 1 year.
Aaron, Nick, Nigel, and Zachary are a set of quadruplets from Ohio who found out amazing news. The boys have all been accepted to a number of top national universities.
The schools on the list include Harvard, Yale, and Duke. The family says the foursome hasn't decided if they all go to the same school because they each applied to a couple of schools individually.
The boy's mother says the family feels elated and blessed.
Now, Johnny, as soon as I saw this story, I read and I was so intrigued by it because all 4 of the sons are interested in different majors, which is crazy that they all got into all these elite schools for different subjects to study.
I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, I can tell you right now, I didn't even get into 4 schools, period, but they're getting into 4 of the top universities in the country. Count me as a fan of these guys.
It's definitely incredible. And, you know, especially with college apps going, there have been so many students touring Syracuse University, so it's been nice to see all of their excitement because April really is the time, because is it May 1st, the decision deadline, right?
It's around there, you're right. All right, well, that's all for Citrus TV News this evening. Check us out online at citrustv.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Citrus TV News.
I'm Jamie Weiss.
And I'm Johnny Oliver. Have a great weekend, Syracuse.